Hello, Namaste and welcome you all. Since our last two lectures, we have been discussing about various basic concepts of marginal costing technique. In our first lecture, we have discussed what is meant by fixed cost, examples of fixed cost, two types of fixed cost, that is per unit fixed cost and total fixed cost, and the variability or changeability or nature of the fixed cost we had discussed in the first lecture. And in our last lecture, we have discussed what is meant by variable cost. Then we have discussed the examples of variable cost, two types of variable cost, that is per unit variable cost and total variable cost, and the variability or changeability of the same we had discussed in the last lecture. Now today we are going to understand third basic concept of marginal costing technique, that is contribution. So let's start. Contribution is nothing but the part of sales. How we are going to understand with this formula. Sales means what are the contents included in the sales amount. Sales is equal to total cost plus profit. Means these two are the contents of sales. Total cost and profit is equal to amount of sales. But total cost means two types of cost, variable cost and fixed cost. These are two types. So total cost means variable cost plus fixed cost plus profit, means sales includes three items. Which are these three items? Variable cost, fixed cost is equal to total cost. Variable cost, fixed cost, and third is a profit. These three are the contents of sales. We can say collectively variable cost, fixed cost, and profit known as sales. So sales include these three items: variable cost, fixed cost, and profit. If we classify these three items into two parts, first item, second item, third item. If we classify these two items into two categories or two parts, first part variable cost and second part fixed cost and profit. In first part variable cost, in second part fixed cost and profit. That second part known as contribution. As we have discussed, contribution is nothing but the part of sales. You can see variable cost, fixed cost is equal to variable cost, fixed cost plus profit is equal to sales. Means sales include these three items. If that three items categorized into two parts, first part variable cost, second part contribution. So fixed cost and profit collectively known as contribution. This second part is known as contribution. In other words, we can say if we deduct variable cost from sales, sales less variable cost, sales less variable cost, which two items remain? Fixed cost and profit. If we deduct variable cost from sales, which two items remain? These are total three items included in sales. If we deduct variable cost, these two items are remain: fixed cost and profit. And fixed cost and profit collectively known as contribution. That's why if we deduct variable cost from sales, sales less variable cost is equal to which two items remain? Fixed cost and profit. And fixed cost and profit collectively known as contribution. In short, contribution means what? Excess of sales over variable cost. Excess of sales over variable cost. Sales less variable cost. Then whatever remain, that is contribution. And which part remain? Fixed cost and profit, which is collectively known as contribution. Means if we deduct variable cost from sales, whatever amount remain, that amount known as contribution. That's why we can say these are two formulas by using that we can calculate the contribution. First, sales less variable cost is equal to contribution. Or in other words, if we deduct variable cost from sales, then which two items remain? Fixed cost and profit. That's why we can say fixed cost plus profit is equal to contribution. So contribution means what? Total of fixed cost and profit. fixed cost plus profit is equal to contribution. Or we can say sales less variable cost is equal to contribution. If we deduct variable cost from sales, which two items remain? Obviously fixed cost and profit. And this fixed cost and profit collectively known as contribution. So what we have discussed? Contribution is nothing but the part of sale. If we classify total sales into two parts, first part will be variable cost and second part will be fixed cost and profit, and that will collectively known as contribution. So contribution means excess of sales over variable cost, means sales less variable cost, then whatever amount remain, that will be known as contribution. Contribution means fixed cost plus profit, collectively known as contribution. Or sales less variable cost, then whatever amount remain, that is known as contribution. So I hope all of you have understood it. Thank you.